Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to round number 5 of MRL Season 2. It is, of course, the Spanish Grand Prix, and with me today is Mr. Mikcow. Mikcow, how are you doing today? Excited for some Spain?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Yeah, it should be an interesting race today.
Right on. Yeah, so we have the circuit diagram up there on screen right now. Talk us through the track real quick. We aren't going to have a circuit guide video today for you guys. We've been dealing with some technical difficulties, so I am sorry for that. But Mikcow will take us through a circuit lap with one of our drivers later on in the session. What do you like about this circuit, Mikcow?
What do I like about it? It's a very good track in my opinion. I mean, it's got a bit of everything. You've got your high speed corners where you need loads of downforce. You got the long main straight, and you've got the challenging technical sections in Sector 3 where drivers can gain or lose a lot of time. So it'll be interesting to see how our drivers cope today with the semi-demanding track.
For sure, for sure, for sure. And we have a lot of other circuits that we're going to be visiting in this season. Taking a look at the calendar right now, as you can see in the middle there, we are on round number 5. It is Spain. After Spain, we go through up into Russia, Brazil, Germany, Britain, Italy. And if you weren't with us last week and have been with us for some time over the season, you'll be excited to know that we have more racing for you after that 10 race mark. We are going to be visiting another 7 circuits. It is going to be Belgium, Hungary, Bahrain, Baku, Australia, Mexico, and to finish out the season, we are going to Japan in Suzuka. Taking a look at our teams for this evening. 10 teams, of course, representing the 10 Formula One constructors. We have Zamajo and Rackety taking up their seats in Ferrari. Skybits with Vettel, Falcon 9, and Chappers over in Renault. Fubar and Custom in the Mercedes. I do believe Custom will be absent this evening. Samus and Undertaker in the Alfa Romeo. Sneaky Baby and I apologize, not Ricky, but Sneaky Baby is going to be driving with Jasco this evening. Neon Rays, I don't believe will be here. Henry is going to be driving in the Williams. Yoda and Jean will be taking up seats in McLaren as per the usual. BTFU in Toro Rosso with Waitis, Bear Gaming, and Tupaka in the Racing Point. Moving on from the teams now, we're going to go and look at our current drivers' standings after round 4. We have Zamajo currently leading the pack in first place, BTFU in second. Now, I do want to make one comment here. The first 3 drivers are up into the above 40 points. So you have Yoda there in third with 40, BTFU 42, and then Zamajo in 81. After that, from positions 4 all the way through to position I want to say 14, even 16 realistically. A very, very tight battle for points right now going on in the standings. Any win, any good haul of points can shuffle these standings dramatically. So I'm really looking forward to looking at how this race shakes that up. But to
Yeah, we
go,
should be seeing a fairly dominant performance from Zamaji. He's shown very good consistency aside from the first race. So
yeah,
hopefully we are able to see BTF and Yoda challenge Smarjo. Maybe some weather can come in like the last round in France, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see, especially this midfield battle. Uh, Maybe Falcon 9 trying to break away, head
yeah.
back into the top pack.
Moving on to the constructor standings real fast here, as I do hear our lobby starting up. Ferrari currently leading the charge in first with 86 points. Red Bull in second with, I do believe, 46 points. Racing Point, 44 points in third. Toro Rosso, fourth right now with 43 points. Look at this constructor standings. It is so tight right now between all of these teams, from Mercedes at the back in 10th with 23 points, all the way up to Red Bull. It's anybody's game. It's such a tight constructor standings, and I love to see that.
Yeah, of
Um,
course, Ferrari being carried by Zamajo with that 81 points. But yeah, as you said, other than that, it's fair game. One of these drivers having a standout performance, or equally one of these drivers having you know, a poor performance or having just bad luck in the race can easily move your constructed up from like second down to all the way to maybe seventh.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. And we are jumping into the game now. Let me get my screen going here. So, if you are unfamiliar, welcome to the Misfits Racing League. This is Season 2. We are racing Spain today. It is a short format qualification. 18 minutes is the amount of time these drivers have to set a solid lap time, find their position on the grid. On top of that, the race is a 50% distance race, half of what you would see a regular F1 race do. And I'm very excited to see what kind of qualification we have from these drivers. Anyone in particular you're looking to see perform today?
I mean, we can't overlook Smarja's performance as of late. He's been just completely dominant over the past couple of rounds. But yeah, like I said in the pre-show, I'm hoping to see BTFU and Yoda provide some kind of challenge to him, and hopefully Falcon can get up there as well. As I also have been informed that it will be all dry, unfortunately. So, well, fortunately maybe for our drivers, but unfortunately for us. So, looks like there shouldn't be any weather playing any factor in today's race.
Skybit's now first driver out of the pits. He is on the soft compound at the moment in the Haas. He will be the first driver here to set a qualification time in Spain. Let's talk
Yeah, Skybets
strategies,
has been an
Mikcow.
interesting one.
What do you think? What do you think the most ideal strategy for these drivers is here on Spain? I know the softs degrade very, very quick.
Yeah, tire degradation around Barcelona is very, very harsh, especially on those soft compound tires. Similar to France, you probably can only get maybe 4, maybe 5 good laps out of them before they really start to go off. The tire wear is definitely an issue for these drivers starting on softs. You're going to have to manage that really well during the race.
Skybit's now rounding the final turn, heading out to start his first lap of the session. Going on board with Skybit's now in the Haas, heading down into turn 1.
Yeah, turn 1, you want to brake just after the 100-meter board. Not really using all of that green stuff, all that green AstroTurf. You can put your wheels up there just to try and get a lot, wider entry, carry a bit more speed as he completes sector 1. Goes through turn 4, keeps it nice and tidy, and the traction down. It's very easy to lose traction through turns 3 and 4. And there's actually quite a few places as well on this circuit as he comes through turn 6 using all of the curb. Turn 7 keeps it fairly clean. Goes through turn 9, the infamous blind uphill right. Manages to keep it clean. Through sector 3 now, turn 10. Second gear keeps it nice and tidy. Turn 11, he hops the curb and he's spun. That's the risk that you take hopping that curb at turn 11. So,
Unfortunately for Skybits, definitely ruining his lap, having to move into the pits there. Zamajo on a flyer at the moment, being cautious through sector 3, looking out for those yellow flags. Skybits still struggling to get things back on the circuit, watching as all these drivers move by him.
Majo is definitely pushing. Undertaker sets the first lap with the 19.9 on the soft compound tires. Let's see what Zamajo can do as he rounds the final corner. There's a 117.9. It's a very solid lap from the Ferrari.
Now, Samus in the Alfa Romeo and Undertaker, his teammate, they have kind of been switching places throughout the last few races. I mean, we had a fantastic podium from Samus in the opening race of the season in Abu Dhabi. Undertaker not getting the race finish he wanted there, and Alfa Romeo off to a very difficult start this season. How would you like to see them do here in Spain, Samus especially?
Well, I definitely feel as though Samus has had quite a rough couple of rounds. Definitely the rain catching him out at arguably one of his better circuits. Also getting caught up in a few incidents in Austria. Another strong one
Samus
for Samus.
up into P2 at the moment on the soft compound, a 118.309. John in third, 119.172.
As Chappers has spun around at the exit of turn 2.
He's lost his
Yeah,
entire front wing. Very unfortunate for the Renault driver.
Yeah, you really don't want to be touching the ripple strip at turn 2. You can put your tires on the green AstroTurf on the left-hand side, but if you keep your tires on that ripple strip, you are going to spin around.
We're on board now with
You do not
Sneaky
want-
as he comes around the final corner here to finish out his first flyer. He jumps into P3 with a 118.495 on the soft compounds.
There's definitely some representable times coming in, but I'm worried about these soft runners.
Definitely worried about the soft runners because of the rapid degradation. Could you see safety car playing a very large role here in this race? Because if I'm one of these drivers right now on those softs, I'm panicking, hoping that there is some kind of safety car to allow, swift tire changes and stuff like that, as Yoda is now gearing up to get his hot lap started.
Definitely think safety car is possible at this circuit. There's quite a few places you can spin out. And of course, the notorious turn 1 and turn 3 for that matter. Remember back to 2018, Grosjean is creating a smoke screen through turn 3, taking out 3 cars. So, yeah, it's definitely a hard corner to get right, especially on the first lap where cars are normally side by side jostling for position. But even still, you're giving up all the grid position that you earned on those soft compound tires by pitting early and going to the one-stop medium hard.
Yoda now in the McLaren moving through Sector 2, looking to set his first time of the session.
I do believe he had a purple first sector, but I don't know if that was just Cody's being Cody's. Down to Sector 3, keeps it nice and tidy at the hairpin. Avoids the curb, keeps the car nice and stable through turns 11 and 12. It's a little bit unsettled, but he's keeping it nice and clean. This is going to be a very good lap. Nails the final 2 corners, gets the power down. Very nice and tidy. It goes up to 4th with a 118.699. Very strong performance from Yoda.
Definitely a good lap from him. His teammate right behind him as well. Samus still in that P2 slot. He's going to be happy about that. Hopefully he's able to maintain that through the remaining 10 minutes of qualifying.
Sorry to cut you off. I just noticed that Rackety has retired.
Rackety.
He crashed out like at turn 6.
Lucky for him,
Oh,
he did
car was
manage to
at
get a
stop there.
time in on those softs. See if that time is able to maintain him in the top 10. Sneaky, currently third. He's getting some warm-up laps in on those soft compounds, running them absolutely to the rim.
Skybit's getting out of the way.
Tupaka, currently in 8th here. Looks like he's on an out lap.
Starting to see a lot of medium tires come on.
BTFU now, I do believe he is starting a hot lap on hard compound tires.
Personally, I think it's a bit late to be trying to get a banker on hards, but we'll see. How he goes. Also going to keep an eye out on Falcon, who's just started his first flying lap on those yellow striped medium tires.
Yeah, we're going to switch on over to Falcon now. We haven't seen a time set from him just yet. In the Renault, he's going to be looking to improve on his teammates' time, hopefully, and jump into the top 10. Falcon looking for a top 3 finish this season in the World Driving Championship.
Chappers has crashed at the last corner.
So Chappers is out. Jump on over to John, I believe, who's going to have view of Chappers' car, and car of Chappers has disappeared. So back on with Falcon now, coming through Sector 3.
BTFU didn't improve. He was a 10th down, and Falcon invalidates.
Ooh, not good for the Renault. Luktra. Happy to see Luktra racing today. He is reserving for Neon Rays over at the Williams team.
Keeps it nice and tidy. Uses all of the curb on exit and gets himself up to P7. The 119.2 on those medium compound tires.
Very good job from Luktra on the mediums. Happy to see him jump into a solid position.
Ooh, Tupaka! Tupaka spun.
Tupaka, very good of Tupaka to await those drivers moving on by that final turn here. He's struggling definitely to get that car under control with the heat in those tires after his spin. So he's going to move into the pits now, look to recover and maybe get one more lap in.
I might just say that was an excellent 8-point turn.
I don't think Tupaka would feel. I don't think Tupaka would feel the same about that one.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Luktra pulled off to the side now, as he lets his teammate Henry by. Henry on the mediums right now. He'll be looking to set a time. He's on a flyer right now. Currently a 119.953, his best set lap.
Well, he's 2/10 up at the Sector 2 split. Let's hope he can hold that through Sector 3 or even improve on it. Ooh, he goes in very quick, using all of the track and then some at the final corner, but the game keeps it valid, and it's going to jump up to P9, a 119.450.
Rackety unfortunately retired his car here, so he is, well, crashed his car, retired his car, same thing, I suppose. He is now dropping back from where he was earlier at P6.
Is that his strategy, maybe, to like get all the drivers to push him down to P11 so we can start on the optimal strategy? Do we ever think about that?
I don't know. It could be a very good move by him if it pans out that way, having that free tire choice, qualifying on the second half of the grid. Wadis moved up. He's now in P6 in the Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso looking to have a solid finish this race on the heels of BTFU's podium last week in Austria. Speaking of BTFU, he took a podium in PPR last night as well. So that's something he is absolutely charging and looking to take more podiums moving forward. So hopefully he's able to put up a good fight in PPR as well as MRL. MRL, I do believe, is his main league at the moment.
Sorry, Capita.
Skybits making a rare appearance in league racing as he is dropped off the face of the earth. I do believe his last race, his last league race was over 2 weeks ago. So he's definitely coming in rusty. I don't know if he's had any opportunity to practice. Falcon. Another invalidated lap from him in the Renault. So he's going to have, if you're Falcon in this scenario right now, with the speed that he happens to carry through some of these circuits that we've seen him on previously, would you be concerned?
I would definitely be concerned, especially since he's now tried twice on those medium tires. So they are going to get quite one. And, well, especially here, where overtaking can be such a challenge, qualifying is very important for these drivers. So I'm looking at Fubar and Falcon, who both have shown decent pace and both are yet to set a lap. with 3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Time slowly running out for these two.
Samus in the Alfa Romeo has retired from the session. It looks like he's had some kind of incident at the final turn of the circuit, possibly an error on pit entry, as he's very, very tight to the inside of the final turn here. Falcon absolutely charging up through Sector 2 now, moving down into the Sector 2, Sector 3 cross line. Sets a purple Sector 2 here, so he is absolutely flying. Hopefully he's able to jump ahead on the board.
Hopefully he gets a lap. It's a lap, and he keeps it well within the boundaries this time. He exited turn 12 through the chicane of 14 and 15. Opens up the steering through turn 16. And he jumps up to 5th with a 118.6. So he finally gets a lap on the board.
A good lap at that. For those of you just tuning in, this is, of course, MRL Season 2, round number 5. It is the Spanish Grand Prix. And to the gentleman in the chat that is asking, this is a global league. So this is quite a mix of different nationalities. We have people from all over the globe here. It is currently running at a North American set time, which is 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central. And yeah, we have people from all walks of the world. Samajo being Croatian, I believe. Yoda is, I want to say Albanian. Sneaky is Danish. Falcon, he's an American. Samus as well is American. Jean is from Uruguay. Wadis is from France. Undertaker is Greek. Luktra is from Cyprus. Little Bear is American. Rackety is from England. Henry from England. Tupaka, I'm not quite sure where Tupaka's from, now that I mention it. BTFU, another American. Skybits, another American. Chappers is British as well. Fubar is German. And Jasko is from Macedonia. So we have an absolutely what's the word I'm looking for? Diverse division here.
Getting back to the action on track, Fubar still hasn't set a lap yet, and there's 20 seconds, so he is going for one shot.
Another thing real quick, just to answer Vettel in the chat, please refer to the Discord, my friend. I noticed that you have missed the race start. Unfortunately, as a result of daylight savings time a couple of weeks ago in North America, the times have been shuffled around a little bit. Realistically, the time hasn't changed. Well, I guess it has changed, but yes, it has been moved forward an hour.
Keeping it nice and clean through sectors 2. He heads into sector 3, uses a bit of the curb at turn 11, but it doesn't unsettle the car too much. You're fairly tight. He uses, oh my goodness, he's really throwing the car into the chicane. Nevertheless, keeps the lap going.
Into
Across the line, he
P7.
moves to P7.
Very, very risky from the German driver. Now, one thing to highlight here, I do believe that is Jasko in 18th position there. To bring our viewers up to speed, let's talk about why he did not set a lap and why he was retired throughout the entirety of the session. So he did, in fact, unfortunately, take a penalty after stewards reviewed a incident report following the Austrian Grand Prix last week, which was his race debut. So not having the race debut he wanted. So Red Bull definitely suffering from that. And he will be starting at the back of the grid for this race here in Spain.
Sorry we missed this, Lutra, but Lutra's in P2.
Luktra on the soft compound tires
We'll
with an
start on the front
absolutely
row.
blistering time, jumping up on the front row of the grid, right next to the Ferrari Zamaggio.
So that
Very
will be your
nice.
grid.
Zamaggio on pole position. Luke lines up next to him. Samus has dropped back into third in the Alfa Romeo, although I can't see him being too disappointed with that Yoda in fourth. Jean is right behind him in the McLaren. It's a McLaren 4-5. Sneaky in sixth position for Red Bull. Fubar up into seventh in the Mercedes. Falcon eighth in Renault. Henry ninth. BTFU lines up 10th.
Very, very interesting grid and tire choices from our drivers. It's a really, really strong mix.
It is a very strong mix with Waitis in 11th position, Undertaker in 12th for Alpha. He'll be looking to join his teammate Samus up at the front. Little Bear in the Racing Point lines up 13th with his teammate Tupaka right behind him. Rackety in the Ferrari, 15th position, not where I'm sure he wanted to end up after retiring his car earlier. Skybits, 16th. As I said before, he is back after some time away. Chappers in 17th, and Jasko after not setting a time due to a qualification ban is in 18th, starting at the back of the grid. What a mixture of tires we're seeing here. Softs, mediums, all the way up and down the grid, scattered throughout. It's going to be a very interesting race.
It certainly is. So now that we are, grid has been set, tire strategies have been set for at least the top 10. Who are you looking to surprise? Who's your dark horse this evening?
That's a fantastic question. Taking a look at the tires now. Undertaker on the hards, Tupaka hards, Jasko on hards as well, and then everyone in between all the way up until 10th position on mediums. Then you have, of course, Zamaggio starting the race on pole position with the medium compound tire, but he is going to have to worry about Samus and Lutra behind him at the start of the race on those soft compound tires. They'll be battling for some quick track position, of course. Jean Sneaky also doing just the same. So my dark horse in this race is going to be Skybits. And that is definitely going to be a biased choice because he is my former teammate for McLaren in PPR. I would like to see him do well in Spain. We had a very decent finish in Spain for PPR a few weeks back, so I'd like to see him do well and hopefully take some points for Haas, as he is the only Haas on the grid today.
Yeah, unfortunately, Vettel missing the start time and couldn't get in the lobby before the end of qualifying. Personally, my dark horse would be Waitis. The two Toros, actually. Waitis and BCFU. Starting right in the middle of the grid, but both on the optimal strategy. So if these two can keep it clean and stay in front of these soft runners ahead of them after the first wave of pit stops, they'll definitely be in for a good result.
Just want to give a quick shout out to the chat for Mr. Nicholas Longe, Formula One esports driver, joining us on stream today. Welcome, Nick. I hope you enjoy the race.
It's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get off the start. Of course, the start very crucial at a circuit where overtaking can be challenging, unlike Austria and France, the 2 rounds prior. See Jasko just lining up on the grid.
All right. Can hear the engines revving here in Barcelona.
5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. It looks like a pretty even start from most of these drivers.
Oh, the Williams of
Lutra
Henry
actually
there.
getting the jump. Yeah,
Dropping
Henry
back.
going onto the grass. Lutra's up into the lead. Zamaggio getting caught out on those medium tires. So as we go through turns 1 and 2, Lutra is your race leader, followed by Zamajo. Yoda, Sneaky makes up position. Samus, and there's a McLaren spinning through turn 3. I think
That
that's
is John.
John, yeah. Looks
Ooh,
like
ooh, very, very
Ooh.
unsafe rejoin there from John. As you see, Rackety moving off to the outside of the circuit, trying to avoid him there. We'll have to see if the stewards take a look at that post-race. However, John doesn't look like he suffered any damage on the front wing of his McLaren, so he should be okay. And as well, Rackety doesn't look like he has any damage on the front end of that car either. So most of these drivers getting away relatively clean here in the opening lap of this campaign. As we can see all the drivers coming down now through into Sector 3. It looks like everybody has relatively no damage. So clean wings here, moving up through the opening of this race. Lutra into the lead of this race, as Mikcow mentioned earlier. Coming down through the final turn, moving on to the first official lap of this race. And I say that because we're going to have a really good idea of what the intervals are and, of course, the lap pace moving through.
So as lap 1 comes to a close, Lutra still is your race leader. Zamajo right behind him in second. Yoda third. Sneaky fourth. Samus dropping a few positions down into 5th. Falcon up into 6th. BTFU in 7th. Henry in 8th. Fubar just makes an overtake on Little Bear for 9th. And Little Bear rounds up your top 10. Looks like Samus has gone for a dive on Sneaky through turn 4. And he manages to hold it. What a great move from the Alpha driver, trying to make up some of those positions.
Sneaky and Samus both on the soft compound tire. They're going to look to gain some time on the McLaren ahead. Yoda running on the podium right now, 3rd position.
Looks like everyone else is keeping it really clean. Sneaky's looking to have a move at Samus, but he backs out of it. Yoda's starting to fall a bit behind on the 2 leaders at the moment. Samajo with a full battery though, surely is going to try and make a move past Lutra.
DRS going to be enabled as well. Moving on to lap 3 in just a few seconds as these front runners cross the line now. Beautiful camera shot from Cody's there as all these drivers around the final turn of the circuit. Samus very close to Yoda right now. He is coming down with the slipstream down into turn 1. He decides to hold off. Not the best run down into turn 1. He decided to take a step back and reassess his options here. Sneaky dropping off behind Samus a little bit here. Samus and Yoda both going just a touch wide, exiting turn 3.
Fubar's also made a position on Henry into turn 1, so he's up into 8th now.
Very, very tight grid at the moment. All of these drivers all the way from 10th up into P3 within only 2 to 3 seconds of one another.
Now Zamajo is basically pushing Lutra around the circuit, has his DRS open, looking to go into turn 10. He holds back for now, but I don't see that staying the order for too much longer.
Fubar making a move on BTFU.
Going side by side through turns 11 and 12. BTF on the inside, but can Fubar hold it around the outside? No, he cannot. BTFU gets through, but he's going for the switchback. What a great show these two are putting on. So there is a yellow flag in sector 3. I believe Chappers is spun at turn 12. But meanwhile,
Falcon
Fubar
making a move up the inside as Zamajo as well makes a move on Lutra for race leadership. Falcon very tight to the rear of Sneaky. Lots of overtaking happening right now through lap 4.
Yeah, especially at this point is when the softs really start to go off. So all these soft runners are going to start to really struggle against those medium tire runners.
Lutra and Zamajo still battling here within half a second. Samus right now trying to catch up to Lutra so that he can have DRS moving up through the sector 2 straight.
He's within DRS for the moment. The only one who really doesn't have it is Sneaky in this little train, closely followed by Fubar. as there's a yellow flag in sector
And that's
2 as
Samus moving
well.
around the inside of the Williams Lutra, but he goes wide here. Lutra retakes the position. Yoda gaining a massive chunk of time on the Alpha driver.
Chewbacca's spun. Chewbacca's out. The exit of turn 9. Will we see a safety car or VSC? It doesn't look like it.
You can see Chewbacca's racing point there on the DRS straight in sector 2, missing that front right suspension as Chappers moves by in the Renault. We have Samus now, wheel to wheel with Lutra heading down into turn 1. Both of these drivers on the 4-lap old soft compound tires. It's Samus moving out in front of the Williams and getting the move done.
Capitalize as well. Or he just can't get it done as Henry is into the pits for a change of tires. So definitely wasn't happy with those 4-lap old softs. They were pretty done.
Things in the battle for third right now extremely tight as Yoda, Sneaky, and Falcon are all very, very close. Fubar in the mix as well. BTFU not too far behind them. Great racing here so far in Barcelona. Unfortunately, Chewbacca out of this race. Still no safety car here on lap 5.
There's plenty of time for that to happen, Striff. Don't worry. As Yoda has a little look at Lutra. Lutra definitely looking like he's struggling on those soft compound tires. Yoda's all over the back of him. Meanwhile, Samajo is just running away with this race, as per usual. Already 3.3 seconds ahead of Samus.
I mean, the only driver we had in MRL that was close to Zamajo's pace, I mean, he retired, so. And when I say retired, I mean, not from the race, but from the league.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I don't know what he was thinking. But meanwhile, Falcon and Fubar side by side through Sector 1, up the hill into Turn 3. Looks like Falcon has gotten the better of that exchange for the moment. See if Fubar decides to make a dive. No, he holds back for now.
Fun fact about Fubar and Falcon, as I found out from both of them, they most definitely consider each other at the top of the Formula One rivals list. These gentlemen fight very, very often here on circuit. Sneaky as well, one of the main rivals of Fubar. So Fubar doing some hunting here in the Mercedes as he wants to take on both of his rivals ahead of him right now.
Well, at the end of lap 6, all these soft runners are really going to be struggling. These soft tires basically don't have a whole lot more to give. And it looks like most of them will be pitting this lap. Just looking at the little telemetry thing in the bottom right corner. But no, it looks like Samus is staying out, Lutra's staying out, Sneaky's staying out. They're all staying out.
Very interesting from all of these soft runners. Could they be, you know, hoping for one last, you know, hurrah for these soft tires, waiting for a safety car? I don't know, but
It's
definitely going to be feeling the
possibility.
wear on them at this point in time. Jean into the pits now.
Fubar and Falcon getting very close through turn 3, and they're looking to have a move on Sneaky as well.
Ooh, and it's Falcon almost making a move down the outside of Sneaky there.
Give a yellow flag in sector 2. I do believe that's Chappers again. He was spun at the exit of turn 9. But look at this train for second. The Samus train is in service today, ladies and gentlemen.
The Samus train. That is right. BTFU is the caboose in this situation. In the Toro Rosso, he is trying to catch up to that Mercedes 4P7 right now. He does have the
Lutra
DRS.
goes wide. Lutra goes wide at turn 10. Oh, Sneaky has a little look, but it's not enough. As Trappist is spun again at the pit entry, it looks like. Not having a great race is the Renault driver, but oh my goodness, all these drivers are so close together, and Sneaky blinks first.
So, Lutra and Samus staying out on the soft compound tires here on lap 8. Sneaky saying, you guys are crazy. I'm getting onto some new tires. He is going to be jumping onto the medium compound tires. That is Undertaker, Skybits, Rackety, all moving up positions here, as well as Little Bear, Falcon, and BTFU all moving up as a result of Sneaky into the pits. Falcon still fighting with Fubar. Fubar definitely going to be happy. He is now up into P5. It looks like he's made a switch with Falcon here that I may have missed moving down into turn 1. Fubar in the Mercedes.
Henry spun. Oof. And Chappers almost created to the back of him. Very, very close.
Chappers
between those two.
Currently in a lapped position right now. Very unfortunate for the Renault driver as he has been struggling this whole race so far. Zamajo, though, the complete opposite. Just cruising in that Ferrari on the mediums. Not a care in the world. Samus, however, going to be looking to put a stop to that. Will we see Samus pit here as we round the second final corner? Samus is staying out for an 8th lap on these soft compound tires. He's looking to maintain that lead. Yoda is going to have DRS down the pit straight with the medium compound tire. He is absolutely clipping in this McLaren, moving down through, but not enough to make a move on the Alfa Romeo just yet. Luktra and Fubar having a swap of positions. Fubar up into 4th now. It looks like he's made a move stick down through turn 1 with the DRS. Falcon in P6 watching all of this unfold with BTFU absolutely gaining in that Red Bull Toro Rosso. Waiting for these drivers to make mistakes. Luktra still on the soft tires as well. Definitely feeling the tire wear as he has lost quite a few positions. Wheel to wheel with Falcon right now. A little bit of a touch, but nothing going. Luktra maintains P6 and BTFU is just rubbing his hands together, we'll say, as he has the DRS now. A little bit of a weave from Luktra there, slip of the rear.
Yeah,
BTFU making it look really easy. Luktra definitely feeling that tire wear. Little Bear is going to be catching up to the Williams as well soon enough, as he is taking tenths out of that Williams in the racing point.
And Samus is now finally pit. I think we'll see Luktra do the same as well.
Luktra
so the medium
into the
runners
pits.
have been released. Smarter 10 seconds ahead of Yoda.
Yoda
Oh my goodness.
definitely being held up.
Fubar. Oh, he has a little look at the inside, but can't get the move done. We'll have to sit back for now. Very angry grid this evening. Just going at it. It's amazing.
So drivers from 1 down to position 8 on the medium compound tires. All of those drivers have yet to pit. Take a look at the stops now. All the drivers in the top 10. No pit stops from them as of yet. Sneaky all the way down to Chappers in P17 have all stopped at the very least once. Chappers, unfortunately, having to stop twice thus far. No safety car yet, so no free stops for anybody.
It's still a long way to go. We're only a third of the way through, not even a third of the way through this race. Smarjo starts at lap 11 now. Current top 10. Samajo 11.6 seconds ahead of Yoda. 0.7 now, and he's just cruising in front. Yoda in second, Fubar in third, close behind. Still within the DRS, trying to stay with Yoda, breaking away from Falcon and BTF in 4th and 5th respectively. Little Bear doing quite well for himself in 6th position there, in a bit of no man's land. Skybits into 7th. Rackety 8th, and Undertaker rounds up for your top 10.
Fastest lap of the race right now is a 121.4, currently held by our race leader Zamajo. Gap to leader right now from 16th position, 46.5 seconds. Unfortunately, Chappers has been lapped so far. Take a look at the position changes. You can see Chappers has been stuck in position 17 for the entirety of this race. Tupaka DNF'd.
Fubar picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That's certainly not going to help his race. And if it stays as close as it is, from 2nd all the way down to, let's say, 6th, you're going to be losing a lot of positions due to that 3 seconds. Well, Rackety Looking to go side by side with Skybits through turn 10. Skybits holds it around the outside. Very impressive from the Haas driver.
Rackety in the Ferrari. Very close to Skybits in P7 right now. He is going to have DRS on the Haas moving down the pit straight. Samus, sorry, not Samus,
such a better
Skybits
exit.
is saving ERS as well here down the straight. Rackety getting it done very easy. As you can see, he's already pulled off a couple of car lengths moving down into turn 1. Rackety saying, move over, chum. I got work to do here. Looking to catch up with his teammate. Jasko is currently 10th position on the 11-lap Old Hards. He did start at the back of the grid. He's looking to jump into the points in this race. Happy to see him up there. Sneaky, his teammate, behind him in 11th position, around 3 seconds separating the two of them. Fubar, currently less than a second separating him and that second position that Yoda is currently hanging tight onto.
Yeah, it's definitely a very, very close. Still this battle for second. Seems to be the real main battle on track as Zamajo sets a new fastest lap. 1:21.2 on those worn mediums. He is absolutely flying.
That's
As
Yoda.
Yoda's going into the pits, so he's going to maybe try the undercut, try and break out of that DRS, but he gets 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh, he is not going to be happy
no.
about that at all. And
So
he
it
is
looks
not
like-
going to serve that penalty in the pits either. He is straight out onto those hard compound tires, and he is going to just have to see where fate lands him with that 5 seconds.
Looks like he's going to hop out side by side with Samus. Ooh, it is very, very close.
Now,
Samus
Samus,
around the inside, turn 2. Now they're side by side going up the hill through turn 3. They're switching back and forth, but Samus has so much more grip.
look at
Around
the
the outside of
traction
turn 3.
on those warm mediums compared to the cold hards. You can see Samus has so much more grip. He's able to do so much more than the McLaren driver. And one funny thing to note is these two gentlemen ended each other's race last week in Austria. So both of these drivers, an axe to grind here. Samus telling me earlier before the race, Yoda is definitely the man for him to beat today and for this season. And I imagine Austria just adding fuel to that fire.
The top 3, top 4 have all pitted, but Little Bear stays out. So Little Bear will inherit the lead of this race. As Chappers has spun again at the exit of turn 9. It's a day to forget for him. Let's see where Yoda is. Will that battling with Samus have cost him? Oh, it's going to be close.
Now, just to shed a bit of light real quick on these pit stops here. Oh, but we have Fubar getting
Very,
in
very
between
close.
Samus and Yoda here. Zamajo had such a great gap in lead of this race that he pitted along with Falcon and Fubar as well as BTFU and still managed to come out with, I want to say, 8 drivers between them. He has moved ahead of all of that traffic, and all he has to worry about now is catching up to Little Bear, and he is within 2.1 seconds of the Racing Point driver.
Well, Little Bear's tires are going to be screaming right now. So he surely will pit this lap as Chappers has had enough. He's retired from the session.
Samus gaining time
Yes,
on the Red Bull.
Henry's crashed at the exit of turn 9 and he's sitting right in the middle of the track. Surely we see something. Surely.
Again, no safety car.
You serious?
That is
Nothing?
quite questionable, as we've had 2 cars now in that exact same spot lose it, crashing out their race here. Little Bear, Rackety, Skybits, Waitus all into the pits now. Sneaky currently in second position of this race, Undertaker and Samus running third and fourth for Alpha. Very nice from the Alfa Romeo squad right now. Undertaker, of course, yet to pit in this race. Samus on the 5-lap old mediums looking to hold off the McLaren of Yoda. Samus is due for a solid race performance here, and I'm hoping that he can get it here today on those mediums.
You probably will have to stop again.
It is a long race, 33 laps.
All the way. Yeah, which at this rate will put him all the way down, maybe like 13th, as Undertaker does let him go. Oh, but Yoda trying to capitalize on it. They're side by side going through turn 11. Oh, there's a bit of touching. It's still side by side as Undertaker's gone onto the grass and lets Fubar by as well. But Falcon, ooh, very, very keen to get past. Has to stay with those top runners. And Undertaker's already lost a second to the Mercedes of Fubar.
Fubar with the DRS, making a move on Yoda here. He is side to side with the McLaren driver. He does have a major gap moving down into turn 1, and he gets the move done. Fubar now looking to catch up to Samus in P3. Yoda, though, a force to be reckoned with in that McLaren, saying, oh, you think so, do ya? I am coming to get you right now, Mr. Mercedes. Fubar is under threat.
Showing a lot of pace right now. Of course, he is currently third in that championship, and BTFU all the way down in 9th at the moment. So provisionally, he will take second as Fubar gets another 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. At this stage, that'll put him all the way down to maybe 11th.
Yeah, the intervals are very, very tight here in Spain at the moment.
I think I know what time it is now. I think the Samus train is going to start up again. Sneaky just outside of that DRS of Samus. Current gap between those two is 1.4 seconds.
If you are Undertaker, never mind. He has entered the pit lane. Luctra up into P7, BTFU P8.
Oh, Fubar gets past Samus around the outside of turn 1. Very nicely done. Does Samus still have life left in those medium tires, though? It looks like he isn't able to get close enough. And Fubar will hold that position.
And just like that, Yoda and Samus are about to do battle once again. Yoda very close to the rear of that Alfa Romeo.
And Falcon not too far behind Yoda either, ready to pounce at any opportunity that comes his way. So he needs to keep up with that Mercedes if he wants to have a chance of beating him this race. Like I said before the race started, Spain notoriously hard to overtake. Not as bad as Monaco or Hungary, but definitely up there in terms of overtaking difficulty. So it's going to be very important for these, particularly these two drivers, to clear the traffic as quickly as they can.
Fubar.
As Madra sets another fast lap.
Fubar, you could say, has commandeered the train.
He has, but
Samus.
Samus wants that. Samus wants it. He wants to be the locomotive in front, and he's going to go for it. Squeezed all the way to the inside. Fubar holds it around the outside, gets the inside for turn 2.
Ooh.
Samus will try the switchback. He still has better traction, but it isn't enough to get past the Mercedes. It looks like Yoda wants to join the fun. Only 4/10 behind. Falcon 5/10 behind him.
Luctra has dropped back quite a bit from this party. 3.3 seconds separating him from P6 at the moment. The Renault of Falcon is absolutely gaining on that McLaren. Everyone going to have DRS on Fubar here, moving down through into Sector 3.
Oh, Falcon goes a bit deep. Almost collects the back of the McLaren.
Samus is not letting the German driver Fubar go at all.
Yeah, the DRS definitely helping him stay within a grasp of the Mercedes driver. Or as Falcon goes really wide at the exit of turn 15. So he has lost DRS on the train. As Samus looks to go the outside this time for turn 1. Going side by side, has the apex for turn 2. He's got it done for now. Let's see if Fubar has an answer going up the hill through turn 3. It doesn't look like it. And Samus has taken over as head of the train again.
Samus, of course, the founder of the Misfits, saying, "This is my show, son. You think you can beat me?" Of course, Samus. Of course, to win the race, first you have to finish the race.
Yeah,
Fubar.
something he learned the hard way in Austria, but it looks like he's starting to struggle in those worn mediums as Fubar gets much better exit. Takes a little bit to the grass. Samus holds it around the outside and manages to defend that position. And Yoda right behind them. So any tangling these two drivers have.
Ooh, and there's Samus off a little wide.
Oh, he has to correct, but he holds position for now. Oh, Yoda. We're right behind the safety car.
There's a retirement. Safety car has been deployed. That is Skybits out of this race.
Samus, Fubar, and Falcon all quickly diving into the pits.
We're going to see what happened here. From Wade's point of view, it looks like Skybits on that DRS straight. A little bit of a collision with Undertaker, as Undertaker and Skybits are both out of this race on the DRS straight in Sector 2. 18 drivers started this race. We are now down to 13, and this is going to shake things up completely with 13 laps remaining here in Barcelona. Fubar, Samus, Falcon, Luktra, BTFU, Jasko, all into the pits.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer at this point. Any driver who was on those worn mediums has just gotten a free pit stop, basically.
Now, if you are Zamajo and Sneaky right now.
But Samus has gone on softs.
13 laps onto the softs. That is very risky.
It is doable, because after the safety car comes in, it will be about 10 laps to the end. So it definitely is doable.
Could have a very, very good big brain moment here from Samus.
2 drive-thrus for speeding under safety car. It's very odd.
Well, that is very disappointing for all of the Tifosi out there who were hoping to see a 1-2-4 Ferrari today. Very unfortunate for the Ferrari driver.
So it looks like Yoda, Sneaky, and Samajo have decided to pit, presumably for fresh mediums.
Samajo onto the mediums, Yoda into the pits now. He is more than likely going to be switching on to those mediums as well.
Oh, Wade's, no! Wade's just got a drive-through penalty for speeding on the safety car. Little Bear gets himself into P2 on those slightly worn hards. Maybe the wrong call right now as Yoda waited an extra lap and now finds himself behind Falcon.
I will say this, I am quite concerned with Samus's choice for soft compound tires. As we can see, everybody remaining on the grid now on the medium compound tire. Little Bear the exception on the hards. Jasko currently P9 from 18 on the 6-lap old mediums. Do you think he'll be able to stretch those to the end of the race?
Oh, Jasko's tires. Oh, that's going to be a...
I'd say it's going to be fairly tight.
It's going to be a stretch like Samus. But he hasn't opted to pit it under the safety car, and if he pits now, he'll basically be last.
Wadis has moved into the pits now. He has jumped onto another set of old mediums.
I don't know what he's doing. Can't serve drive-thrus under safety car, my friend.
That is going to be a painful lesson learned from him if that was, of course, his intention. Which I can only imagine it was, considering why would you switch to previously worn
All the
tires.
mediums. Yeah, but this safety car has definitely spiced up the race. That gap that Zamajo had is basically gone. He has gotten a free pit stop as Wadis has just said, "Nope, I've had enough."
Now, if you're Little
And
Bear here
retires.
on those 7-lap-old hard compound tires now, what's going through your mind? Where do you see yourself landing in a position like that from an outside perspective as well?
Well, he's got the track position at a track where it can be difficult to overtake, so he just needs to make sure he can hold up Sneaky and Fubar behind, or get Sneaky and Fubar to fight along with everyone else behind him, and he should be in with a decent point score. He just needs to finish the race at this point.
This has been a very exciting race so far. A lot of overtaking action. It's such a great battle for podium positions here so far in round number 5 of the Misfits Racing League. This is season 2. Once again, my name is Strifium, and to my left or to my right, across the world, across the globe, it is Mikcow in Australia.
G'day, g'day, g'day.
Safety car now, moving up through sector.
Fubar gets 10 seconds for exceeding track limits.
The German.
See, this was the problem, yeah, because now he's got 16 seconds worth of penalties. 16. And presumably he's going to have about 9-10 laps. Oh, it's going to be 10 laps as the safety car is coming in this lap.
Would it be too much for me to say, Fubar being German, when things like this happen, it really, really reminds me of that race in Germany we had last year, 2019, of course, when Toto Wolff slammed the desk as a result of neither of his cars coming through with solid positions.
So Zamajo backing up the pack a little bit, waiting for that safety car to enter the pit lane. He's still a bit close, but it's all good. And it looks like they are ready to go racing once again.
Falcon with a really good jump here, moving down the pit straight. He is very tight to the rear of Samus, as Sneaky, Little Bear, and Zamajo fighting through at turn 1. Falcon moving along the inside of Samus, but Samus getting a very good switchback here. Yoda ahead of Falcon as well. Falcon losing the rear here. Sneaky up into P2 in that Red Bull on the 2-lap-old mediums. He is looking good in that Red Bull. Little Bear on the 8-lap-old hards is going to be feeling a little bit of tire wear here on the restart. Fubar, unfortunately, absolutely riddled with penalties in that Mercedes, is going to be looking to maintain the best track position he can so that he can salvage some kind of points finish here in Spain.
Fubar needs to get past Little Bear on this straight, otherwise he's going to have a really hard time making up that gap, as Little Bear has a bit of a moment at the exit of turn 9. Fubar, Little Bear side by side, and he goes up the inside, and looks like job done.
Very, very close to hitting the rear of that racing point. Samus, very, very quick on those soft compound tires. Hopefully he's able to make them last the remainder of this race. They are going to fall off later on, so whatever track position he needs to get it soon. Little Bear, just an obstacle in his path now. We aren't going to have DRS for at least another full lap here, so these intervals are going to stretch themselves out. Yoda, unfortunately, suffering the rev bug. Falcon, currently P7, looking to catch up to the McLaren driver. Lutra, Jasco, BTFU.
Samus is all over the back of Little Bear. He's just looking for any way past at the moment. He's just got so much more grip on those slightly worn softs. He has a look at turn 5. Ooh, backs out of it.
BTFU now jumping ahead of Rackety and Jean.
Jasco's
had a bit of a slip, it would seem, in the Red Bull. BTFU now into 9th, looking to catch up to Lutra.
Look at this train, the Little Bear train. Forget the Samus train, it's the Little Bear train, and Samus still can't find a way past the racing point. He's now lost 2 seconds to the lead 3. This is not what he needed. And look like McLaren has had a bit of an incident. Samajo set to 1:19.7 as the new fastest lap. The current top 10 are Samajo in first, Sneaky in second, Fubar third, a little bit fourth.
Samus now down the inside of Little Bear, no
Might not
DRS.
be as Samus goes for a dive through turn one and he gets that move done.
That was a very clean dive from the Alpha.
Yeah, he needed to get that done. He was
Now-
losing so much time.
Yoda absolutely clipping in that McLaren. Unfortunately, we have that rev bug there, so I'm going to jump on over to the
Oh,
third-person view. Wheel to wheel now.
Yoda at the inside looking to get the traction, but Little Bear seems to get better traction. Breaks a bit earlier though. Yoda trying around the outside of turn 5.
But don't look now. Falcon looking to slip through right behind Yoda now. Falling
Little Bear's
back.
just getting eaten up by the rest of the grid. Those hards not giving him any pace whatsoever at this point. And BTFU and Lutra not too far behind. Lutra goes a bit deep. BTFU going up the inside at the hairpin. Lutra receives a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Falcon and Little Bear.
Ooh, very close from
very
Falcon
close
there. DRS is enabled this lap, so we are going to see Falcon with the DRS down the pit straight, but Little Bear going to have the DRS on Yoda as well. And Little Bear able to maintain quite the gap here between the Renault on the fresher compound tires moving down into turn 1 here. Little Bear not going to be able to do much about the McLaren, but he is maintaining that 6th position quite well at the moment.
Meanwhile, up the top of the grid, Fubar is slowly catching Sneaky. So this could be realistically Sneaky's first podium.
And I'm sure the Dane would be very happy with that.
And with all the penalties, it could even be P2. Samus trying to use those soft compound tires to catch up.
I think Samus is in big trouble here.
I think so as well, but the Little Bear train is still in service. Oh, Falcon is a touch.
Oh, and there's Little Bear. Little Bear has spun. Falcon, Lutra, and BTFU all moving up positions there. Falcon has dropped back into 8th position behind Lutra and BTFU. Jasko up into 9th as well. I saw him spin out earlier and drop to the back of the grid. Doing a good job to make a comeback into the points. Join his teammate for a double points finish, hopefully. Lutra, and there goes Lutra. He is off. Oh, that was a nasty and violent crash from the Williams. We have a VSC deployed.
And Fubar has just overtaken Sneaky before the VSC.
Have another look here from Rackety. You can see Lutra's car here on the side of the circuit there on the pit straight. Very unfortunate for Lutra as he was making his debut for MRL today as a reserve driver.
Just the dirty air, and he kept the power down on those slightly worn mediums, and he just lost all the grip and couldn't correct it. Once it started spinning, he knew it was too late.
Sneaky in Fubar now. Sneaky into 3rd. Fubar in that Mercedes has moved up into 2nd position. Again, though, Fubar does have quite a significant amount of penalties at the moment. Samus in 4th on the soft compound tires. Green light racing here. Yoda catching up to Samus on the 6-lap-old mediums.
Yeah, this is the point where those softs are really going to start to struggle. We saw him go fairly long in the first stint on those softs, so he obviously has the confidence that he can make those tires last.
Samajo crossing the line now. We have 6 laps remaining here in Barcelona. Sneaky ahead of Fubar. Fubar off a little wide there, it seems, through the final turn of the lap. He has dropped back a 1.5 seconds behind the rear of the Red Bull. Samus moving up on the Mercedes as well. Hopefully he is able to get into DRS zone, or DRS striking distance, I should say. Falcon in the Renault. Wheel to wheel with BTFU through turns 1 and 2. BTFU dropping back, looking to make a move on the Renault driver.
It doesn't look... He's sticking to the back of him. Oh, he goes very close to the rear of that Renault. all up over his gearbox at this point. His Falcon has now received a penalty for multiple warnings.
Not going to be happy about that is the American Falcon driving the Renault here, BTFU. It is a battle, a battle between the two Americans here for 6th position. BTFU, ooh, very tight there, BTFU. Looks like he might have had a little bit of a touch to the rear of the Renault here. BTFU coming off of a podium last night in PPR. Going to be looking to jump ahead here in just a few turns' time. Falcon looks like he could be struggling, but they are on 8-lap-old tires each.
And of course, you can't forget Falcon's moment with Little Bear, so he did cook those tires with that spin going off track.
BTFU,
DRS.
very good to have that DRS here. Samus has dropped back out of DRS from position 3 at the moment. Sneaky is in a comfortable 2nd position right now, and if he keeps things clean, he could be on for a very nice podium finish here. Yoda within a 2nd of Samus right now. Samus on the 9-lap-old softs. We're going to see some battling between those two in just a few moments. BTFU still trying to stick with the Renault of Falcon. Only 11 drivers out of the 18 that started this race, and I will say this, the Sector 2 straight being the main catalyst for a lot of these crashes and retirements. Yoda is absolutely flying behind Samus right now, constantly gaining time on the Alfa Romeo driver. Fubar looking to catch up with Sneaky. Looks like he might get into DRS range here, moving through into the 30th lap of the race as Zamajo now crosses the line.
If anyone in chat wants to put in their vote for driver of the day for this Grand Prix, leave it in the chat, and we will try and tally up the votes as best we can to give you an accurate driver of the day. So personally for me, it's Sneaky at the moment with currently sitting in P2, a very solid result, but 3 laps to go, or 4 laps actually.
Yoda slowly catching up to that Alpha on the soft compound tires here. It was a big gamble from the Alpha, but we'll just see how well it can pay off here for Samus. Again, if you are just joining us, this is the Misfits Racing League Season 2, round number 5. If you enjoy Formula 1 or Formula 1 League racing, or just any kind of racing in general, be sure to smash that follow button to know when we go live next. We race every Thursday at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time for the Misfits Racing League. Next week will be round 6.
Sneaky, very, very close. Samus has gone wide at the hairpin. Oh, it's very close.
Ooh, Yoda just sneaking through there. Loss of traction from Samus in that Alfa Romeo. Definitely going to be feeling that tire wear now. Now, Samus not going to be able to catch Yoda, I don't think, here. He is going to have DRS moving down the pit straight, but is it going to be enough to maintain a close gap between the McLaren driver? I don't know. Falcon is going to be putting Samus under threat in just a few seconds as well.
No,
Sneaky and Fubar.
Sneaky going wheel to wheel through turns 2 and 3. Fubar getting a bit on the curb, squeezes Sneaky all the way to the outside. They're still wheel to wheel as they go to turn 4. Sneaky later of the brakes, tries to get him around the outside. They're still wheel to wheel with 2 laps remaining. For the battle for 2nd place, Fubar going around the outside, turn 5, and gets the move done.
Beautiful, beautiful racing between the Red Bull and the Mercedes here. Oh, and there's Fubar. He is spun.
Fubar.
Oh, and that is Fubar. A huge collision there after making a beautiful overtake with a wheel-to-wheel battle with Sneaky. He has crashed. Fubar is very, very upset about that. I'm sure that front wing taking an absolute beating here. Jasko, BTFU, and Falcon all able to move up a position here. Samus as well into 4th. Yoda currently 2nd in the championship, behind only that of Zamajo, is looking to get another solid haul of points here.
Well, he's just been gifted a podium place now.
Penalties could play a role here as well. I'm not too sure what we'd be looking at for Sneaky and Yoda here. Samus hopefully had a clean race. Falcon makes a move round the outside though. That is him trying to make a move on the position 4. Samus in the Alfa Romeo right now, just hanging on for dear life on those 12-lap-old softs, and there goes Fubar. He is out of this race. It looks like he has crashed around the final turn here. There is his car off to the side. There is front left suspension completely gone, and it is an unfortunate finish for the Mercedes of Fubar. So, 10 drivers remaining. Everybody on the grid right now is going to be able to secure some points here, as they are all full-time drivers. Very nice. We are on the penultimate lap here. Falcon very tight to the rear of Samus, still fighting for that 4th position. Samus is absolutely hanging on for dear life. As I mentioned earlier, on the soft compound, 12 laps old. They are going to be 13 laps old at the end of this race. A massive gamble from him.
Screaming. These tires are done. As Vettel would say, these tires are done.
Unfortunately, we don't have real-time data on the actual wear of those tires. Would you say at 13 laps old here in Spain,
Oh, they're done.
Puncture risk?
Definitely could be. It depends how he spins to the tires, but Falcon trying to get past him in any way he can. Of course, he does have that 3-second penalty, I believe, to contend with.
Samus right now showing what he is made of in that Alfa Romeo when collisions don't plague his race. Currently running 4th. I am very happy to see him where he is right now. Hopefully he's able to maintain that position. Of course, though, I like some good wheel-to-wheel action here. So could we see a move from Falcon in Sector 2 on the DRS straight? Let's find out right now in just a couple of seconds. Very close to the rear.
He's only got basically one opportunity left, and that is this straight. He's gotten a great exit. It looks like his DRS is open. Samus defense squeezing him to the inside. Does he pull it out in time? It looks like he's gotten the better traction, and he has made the move done. Meanwhile, Zamajo crosses the line to win the Spanish Grand Prix. Absolutely dominant performance from the Ferrari, as usual. And Sneaky, coming through the final corner, will finish in 2nd. A career best result for the Red Bull. Yoda will finish in 3rd as well. Falcon crosses the line.
Ooh, and there's a big shakedown.
BTFU goes all the way up to 4th after penalties. So BTFU in 4th, Falcon 5th. Samus going all the way down to 6th position. Jasko in his 2nd race, after starting from the back, finishes 7th. What an amazing drive from the Red Bull. Little Bear picks up some solid points in 8th for Racing Point. John in 9th, and Rackety, the final race finisher, will cross the line in 10th, collecting a singular point for the Scuderia.
Very good race here in Spain. 18 drivers began this campaign. Unfortunately, only 10 survived here in Spain. And what a race. What an absolute drive. Congratulations to Zamajo in the Ferrari with the race win. Sneaky gonna be very happy with position 2. And of course, Yoda taking another good haul of points here for McLaren in 3rd. Double points finish for McLaren and Red Bull today. Very nice.
And Ferrari, Rackety. Rackety kept it clean. He kept his...
That's very true. Rackety
the race.
Finishing the race. He did move up into 10th from 15th position. Very good from him. So it's a double points finish for Ferrari, Red Bull, and of course McLaren. And then of course we have BTFU in Toro Rosso. Waitis unable to finish the race. Zamajo winning here in Barcelona. Sneaky 2nd, Yoda 3rd, BTFU is 4th, Falcon 5th, Samus 6th, Jasko 7th, Little Bear 8th, John 9th, Rackety 10th, Fubar 11th, Luktra in 12th, Waitis 13th, Undertaker 14th, Skybits 15th, Henry in 16th, Chappers 17th, and Tupaka in 18th. Let's have a look at the race director, take a look at the tires of all these drivers real quick before I get loaded out of this lobby. Take a look at the penalties as well. Rackety taking 2 drive-throughs earlier on in the race. Very lucky for him to have come 10th in this race, I will say. Very happy with how this race went, guys. If you enjoyed, once again, my name is Strifium. I was joined by Mikcow for the commentary this evening. If you enjoyed what you saw or you want to see more, be sure to check us out on YouTube and smash that follow button here on Twitch. We will be live once again next week at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time for the next Grand Prix. The next Grand Prix next week is going to be Russia. Round number 6, Misfits Racing League, Season 2, the Russian Grand Prix. Next week, 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. Be sure to check us out on Twitter. The link is in the About section down below the stream. You can click that badge and you can head on over to our Twitter to get live updates from what's going on, all things MRL related. Of course, join our Discord, the Misfits Discord. We are always looking for new drivers from all walks of the globe. Like I said before, this is a global league. We have a fantastic diverse grid here. And we're always looking for more drivers, more reserves. And we are going to be looking to open up new divisions as well. With all of that being said, I just want to thank everybody once again for racing and watching with us. It was a fantastic stream. And we are going to head on over and say hello to the founder of the Misfits, my good friend, Mr. Samus2177. So all aboard the raid train. Here we go.